Edi chimini enkrasi DUMSOR no. Ana ekwoso no.
Then DUMSOR baba. Then Kwame esi. Then aba.
DUMSOR chimi mu krasi semu. Den as any party tibia. Wajimi ya wen bibi enye.
Yamjina na me da so mu all through.
DUMSOR ya huru bi pay.
Aye.
Na yetimi manage.
Emobi ya like ibi. Ya kan jere obi.
So what is happening? What is happening that it has become like a canker? What is going on?
Ewo akosomo anyinamankane no a eja ehyehe your control center.
How many weeks have you been experiencing DUMSOR and sana when Eshaba the count?
So maybe say DUMSOR now say DUMSOR. I don't know who DUMSOR is.
Let this stop. Let the nonsense stop.
It is not also true, sir. Outages are starting from January, no. Ninja because of Akosombo control station.
Greco, Penny, I find a mama Pam Greco. You think this is a joke?
The engineers again tell me, sir, Kumasi the any a peculiar problem. Sir, Ombet me Kumasi the any na. I just say by the end of this year.
Padis ya catcher, sir. Yabama DUMSOR.
Wow, Sechena, we yasano. Sayanukra, Onyamin kum.
Because of challenge now about the power in the Cote d'Ivoire and the Burkina Faso, I are suspended for some time. Because we cannot continue.
Mini JB Yetina had a catcher NDC for say ECG, Ghana Water, Gridco, VRA, Abineman and Inco. Mahama went here, and they were
the DUMSOR babim waju generator fuwa womu edi enwa na eko u party ase u beso so biem abusia DUMSOR asa ababiem ai ababiem na DUMSOR no ai baaye omu chirima omu si we ye dum siesie because omu dum no e dey siesie some transformer bi a ho atochema na busia omu sa de betu dwa say DUMSOR we nye DUMSOR na aba na python bi na akwa some transformer bi etumu kwakoyi python no ye yi no now no ye yi python no now no mo sa ka different story actually ebusia we an sparky conversation ama highway no so ayeshi ayede Captain Smart di na no abetu se den na mo ye yi eden na mo ye DUMSOR na efri he ese ye nduma ese nkrofo enso adwuma Madam Oheneni enso da no abetu se DUMSOR no so ese nkrofo endwuma mami bia ono de wabo ne ho so se ono de onkodi ba machi Emma Bema nene da Emma Omaniska. Eni to ne de. Ono be start some small entrepreneurship bi. Enti some fruit drinks bi na oye. Nebusia because of the result of doing something. Mame no eni Emma be 300 pieces of the drinks no ye no. Ni na say because oni generator and DUMSOR no enso ase no. Na so for an ase pastor Kofi Oduro enso akeka enema bi atoto ayempe. Abusia AB stand the blogger. Eniema equals to trending issues concerning the equals to DUMSOR hono abusia ma compiling na ede bramo. Say and then first time I will share my video meslew. Say we like it. Now watch the wide comment section ase. Now abo homodin say obey den ube subscribe no turn on the notification bell. Say there any update bia am the baby bia you be the first person to be notified. Abusia yan ko go share video no.
After this, amount for Oheneni Adazwa, Prophet Kofi Oduro, Kwame Tanko, and then the explanation between Omanhene Kwabna and Obi. Just say, Utia, Utumse Kumasi for the year, this year, dear, DUMSOR no, Omonena to the end of the year. Ebeha drink a cry. Nana Brefo's reaction from United States of America. And then Captain Smart is also Sema Oka say NDC for so ding, and no maybe as a President John Dramani Mahama, and case or yet the dada.
Now what you time table near we say from this time up to this time a bedroom light. Now what you crossing even Ojan Wajimina, sending planning a jail that you. And one ordinary na before, and be a so. Are DUMSOR Jimmy Moon classes them. Den as any party tibia. What Jimmy I and be any. There. DUMSOR ba DUMSOR ba. Na that DUMSOR when I was on the Jimmy DUMSOR. Jimmy DUMSOR and I caution. Ni pakra o ti ho o Jimmy Hosano. Mumia kabiti chamo. Jimmy DUMSOR and I caution. No. Classes no. Village behavior. electricity no am matutumu no yes you yate say me every week be am top 400 every week me top 400 but yes you yate adan na dia me di sika koto no me timi nyusu makoto prepaid me ne oka e di na me nyusu e ye chimi DUMSOR e na koso ase chinchina twa bi ni pakro no so waboda mo se di asemo chichira twa bu ju wat ase kropo bu san di minim bone e di aye ni pakro no e ho na brapa
my lady
enra no pa no sia
no dum no
mi tu kwan me baaye no me bedu fie no 3 o'clock no ne adum no ba me rave ne me wo fridge ndie na aye no na mu so mdum light na che me bu sa no so mdum na no pass 6 mo so 3:30 no ma sa no ndum 6 no ma so na ma che ano pass 6 enya chi mi DUMSOR eti ano no
ano din o
eti ano no na yesi obi so obi na sabotage o se de yo Ghana ebetumi aye we are naturally born bad they betumi aye denia na na Kofi teacher transform him na yeni Ghana
ni wa ha
enu ye teacher transform him say DUMSOR mra na baby nya on popular
no kwasem
ni yeni Ghana say
ni wa ha
titi akoso ne no obi betumi ahyekire
aye sa na ma we
chimisam sa yes re perifo wo mo mama ni na o ya papa gina po mo mama ni na o
na mo hwe ne emam
na mo sore titu ni asante region ha na DUMSOR tie
ano den
e ye chimi mu tutu ni pakra ho tum no no wa chimi too much adai mi tie na brampa
my lady
chame
gaga
because mana esa na uti na pressure kwasho mi ko to prepaid mi jiaka
akotua
ada na dia me jiaka mi timi yusu
ano den
cheso mind obi aba no be fe jom
obi a no ye
mo aba fe jom akola ketua so de sabe adwuma sheka wabo edi chimi ni enkurase DUMSOR no no ana ekoso no DUMSOR ya huru bi pay
ai
na yetimi manage
obi e like bi ye kan kire obi a
any village behavior wow search na wo yesa no say ya no kura onyame nkum why mo de mo wa plant sisi mu fie
e ti dum ya na mo de dem
mo wa plant na je be tu tomasi sumakumu ya ba kuru mu nua ama mo plant na ja tutom ate adai
my lady
ma chire dogon
o ma chire ezagu yachi
ku be so na da kura nyeye e fi friend say plam
na mo kamo so kwa mi friend
ye mo ya wo chire so ya kono de so mo be chire sagulati e di DUMSOR na be ke kono de so se ya se e so de aka ho mo bottom
I don't care who is leading the nation. In this case, it doesn't have to happen. A nation that is 70 years. All through. Yeah, but see, I will say, maybe sorry, but there was so best someone to what come with and what the other. Let this stop. Let the nonsense stop. Stop it. And oftentimes when we are talking about things like this, dangerous things like galamsey, now person a party, for our party, not all. I don't want to hear it. Obi to prepare see announce and be the party. Are you serious? What they be a party? What do we care about your party? Can you get me to be and say 50 Ghana be a 2 weeks? They say what toy ya 2 days or next day or so santo. Now what tea up as all the party? We don't care about your party. Church and can near 1,000. It can take us to like 1.5 weeks. Now we buy 1,000 and not the same week now we need to buy another 1,000. And you are calling that a
yeah. Of our whole. But let me say this, and I'm putting it on record, say. Yeah. The first coming of John Dramani Mahama, Obeji Dinze Odum Kania, no credit, DUMSOR, no credit. Oba bio nipa bi no de campaign. Say John Mahama ba be DUMSOR bio. Semos akufo de kasa bi o kasa. Me de me the free senior high school na ba ye. John Mahama de ni DUMSOR. Now the way and manner it is repeating on the second coming of John no ehu hwe mamon tenase enyen hwe han se Oh, aka a year to the election, no. Yebedani bibi, yebe bibi. The Ghanaian voter now is so sophisticated to the extent that these are the things that inform their decision.
Thank you.
You can't put somebody through pain. Now at the latter part, no. What because of ye bibi. If there's something you'd have to do and do it now. Do and do it now. And your friend Yaba now heads are rolling. ECG, assistant transformers. Honestly, now no say me say yes. Brother, I go to ECG. Need or baby be asset. How many days in it? How many weeks have we been experiencing DUMSOR and Sana when Esha the count? Yes. And then I make catch said there's something that people are not telling us. I direct it directly to the government.
Yes.
I'm directing it straight to the government. That if there's anything somewhere, they should fix it. Yeah. That is why Ghanaians queued and voted for them. They didn't vote for this. Ghanaians didn't vote for DUMSOR. They voted because we were here when we were told, say, even 1 hour and Kenya Doom after 2016 a haram in this country. Yeah. What happened? Yeah. What happened? Yeah. Dear Nancy, why are we experiencing this? And nobody is saying anything to anybody. Nobody is telling anybody anything. The other thing say ECG4, I mean, are they? And now man for bra. Frank, I'm being honest. Media crowd they said me Makacho. You know, over here there's a generator. Yeah.
You have a plant over there.
But even with that crowd, how long can you keep it on? How long?
Maybe I will do on this DUMSOR matters. Yeah. Who the failed on that? It's the done. Say DUMSOR bar, and from the MPP days up to today, you have always stuck to a principle that yes. To the yes. Oh, say, me say, I me do see that's what happened. Never need to go on one answer. I never the power. Be no him the sister. Yes. Me no. The ambassador can say. Enough of the politics and sebi enough of these two things now. Leave it for the technocrats for them to come and call the shots. Enough because say John Jinapoka say baby that's also between the or magic one no between there. Clearly we say magic one in your technocrats bit by Juman. So maybe some people before Kasaya who say only magic apart from technocrats no any normal who here say the year this year no any proper education understand void of a year will be taking political capital out of a situation. And they do no. So maybe say DUMSOR now say DUMSOR. I don't know who DUMSOR. So we should be united in fighting this national canker and stop the partisanship because whether MPP or NDC, we've not killed that problem of DUMSOR. We haven't. We haven't.
Let me explain it this way.
Very good.
I'll start with Niomabia narrative about outer enyanokre. And the narrative enyanokre. And then the real danger which is before us was a shani swano. Oman edikai the enyanokre no. Enyanokre say outages na yehu from and let me say started apart from January ever. Enyanokre say outages na yehu from January no. All the outages near because of transformers are ye replace it. It is not true.
And then correct.
Yes. It is not also true, sir. Outages are started from January, no. Ninja because of Akosombo control station. And
then correct.
And then correct. And then correct. All the outages. But the outages started somewhere in January. In fact, Kumasi Podie a year-long problem.
Kumasi from last year. This weekend, what's that? The last time no call weekend, you know, how afraid absolutely. Masa 20 times what happened in Kumasi. That's last year and this year 20 times what happened there.
In Kumasi, the end of the year, a year-long problem. But the rest of the country started somewhere in January. The end of Krensuni, most of the outages are yehuno. One, it be a normal faults in the system. In Tibia, cable be a theater from Kania bedum, transformer fuse be a say Kania ebedum, transformer be a overloaded, a bit trippy, and the crescent outages need be a year. And the crown so say outages need be a year transformers no more replace it because man say transformer essay near baby replace here ye two transformer now and transformer juma ben transformer and then your friend distribution transformer and it's a ECG edge power from gridco or BSP they're stepping it down because power now a free gridco transmission lines no air banner some power the entity me fear direct fear the jabetum in the stepping it down into BSP
yes so this crack
your gridco substation and your ECG primary substation. And this is the primary substation. I'm stepping it down about 33 kV and 11 kV. Now, a free home about distribution transformer ketwana a woofy in China. Now they are stepping it down. Obey me, use to a woofy. And the transformer are very critical. There were big transformers, there were small transformers. Big transformers, Oko primary substation now. Transformers never on SOS. But the year come once a year in Ketwana and the power bow fear direct. And on a buy IS and it didn't start today. Let me also add injection of transformers no a work in progress in every year depending on how network needs to know ECG injected transformers. What is happening now no the quantum 3,000 transformers at a go massive. That's what's happening. It is about to be replacing transformer ABI war at the transformer was see near the frequency. Say engineers ne young the new transformer see plus or minus by 4 hours
they should be done.
Yes, what it means they say in 4 hours to can have a cough and we are different from say you may replace your transformer baby a transformer the fuse be a blow transformer ne yeah the fuse for about sha more amoda sa fuse ne so no can ya be den ebedum yeah the say we are not can ya na sa in the okania bedum na sign so aba because of the work on the transformer. It is also true say transformer replacement na air cosono e the kania edundundundu eba. That's a fact. Good. It is also true say nansay ejana eto
akosomu
gridco control room wa akosombo no and also e de
wosusanso
kese akosombo generate be 1080 megawatts. 1080 megawatts is huge because total generation capacity be 5,000 and something. 5,000 and something. 1,000 goes off. That's massive. Massive. In 1,000 megawatts, acquire say we Accra any Kumasi every more. 1,000 megawatts can a bit to me a supply be 6 regions.
1,000.
1,000 megawatts Osha smaller regions, they bit supply by 6. And 1,000 megawatts is off. Massive. In Oman, as we speak, there is load shedding. Because load shedding load shedding NSA generation now be a free so. And when you said load, what do you do with it? You manage. And then you said the load we do load management. In the load management, amount the timetable eba. Ideally, Oman, say 1,000 megawatts a free swap. And was sank a manage kakana akana. Into the akana and so yina. In the end, heart of what Eda Kania Mua, Watsana, Namadina Fonsoy, then Adam said there will be a Benyan Kakan Kakra. There are 1,000 megawatts now free total generation capacity, which is massive. In ideally, Ewasanka by now, you're not timetable. From Greek Koni ECG said, yeah, 1,000 megawatts now every sona, dear Akano, because the total generation capacity over 5,000. And as he says, man, and I'll come there. What it means, there's 1,000 megawatts of free, so we have to manage Akana Akano. The ideally, Ewasanka by now, timetable.
It's a senka by now.
Yeah, timetable. Until such a time, you be real Juma wakosumbo. I'm 1,000 megawatts in Yide, assign Abba. Now for Obia bit my day in Yakania. Until such a time. What the engineers tell me, and we make a great co-engineers. So what's happening in Akosombo now? Because the whole control station got bent. The whole thing
got bent.
Bent.
How many control stations? About 5 or?
No, I one. Akosombo.
Okay.
But Grid Kosa another control station. Tema.
Okay.
And what they are doing now, they say, some person will sign rebuild this our control station now. It may take it time. They are bypassing it into ammonia power now from Akosombo. They will bypass that control station, bring it to Tema.
straight.
No matter control from Tema. That's what they are doing now. And that bypass no more, engineers they say within 1 week or that's by the end of this week.
This is a technical talking.
Yes. They would be able to do the bypassing. Now about control BBR from Tema.
No money adaji.
No money adaji. I rebuild it for somebody.
Okay.
If that 1 week is anything to go by, meaning say outage is not
we are
for 1 week. You can make an argument. Okay, say 1 week in Poa. Still a buying
my timetable.
My timetable. Now we'll be planning a life for the next
timetable.
1 week.
Yes.
It's a legitimate argument to me.
Yeah.
But almost 1 week. We are all hoping say 1 week no bet my day. Now you're saying we are meaning say because Akosombo Dam need a jam tomu. It is that 1,000 megawatts there.
It's still available.
But we need it through the control station. No be to me and that is with Akosombo Diano. It's a fact. Say no the issues I then abba. But my fear Omanhene say and let me talk about Kumasi Diano. The engineers again tell me say Kumasi Diano a peculiar problem. Say ombetime wie Kumasi Diano na I just say by the end of this year. Because what they want to do in Kumasi is to permanently resolve issues near Kumasi. Kumasi is peculiar. I said last year, 2 years, peculiar. Because Kumasi no, omo BSP me no. It is no crown ocean load anyway. Eba Kumasi na Kumasi BSP no crown here back on the account. And a idea was a Kumasi the omo share no mutimi nentem. By the end of this year, they will be able to finish. Now, I'm a Kumasi the one thing, but maybe subsequently we'll talk a bit more about Kumasi. Let me come back to the fear I have. The fear I have now, and it's total generation capacity is here. In 2017, time our MPP take it over. I didn't know Mokapan say you excess capacity. Oman 8-9 years down the line, as we speak, engineers will tell you, say, for every power system, we have the freno reserve margin. Reserve margin, almost they took 25% of your total generation capacity.
Margin.
As reserve.
In case of
BBA or reserve margin.
The 25 out of our 5,000.
Our 5,000, I will say that as reserve. In the time, an MPP excess capacity. Now, Omayi reserve not on chain, still there was excess. They had issues with it because we were paying for the excess capacity, which is not a problem as it were. Because our year power purchase agreement, I'm an IPP in the plant bar, or securities be, and yes, our farmer. In the also year take or pay. It's normal with a lot of the PP agreement I sign. You understand? It's a problem. But my challenge now is that Oman, as we speak, you need reserve margin. Yes. Even when I cost some 1,000 megawatts never back on streamer. See what it means is that they are generating as a country, and only use.
How did it happen?
Say demand for power grow year on year. Energy Commission say grow 12%. In absolute terms, that's 400 megawatts every year. Into year on year, your demand air cost 400 megawatts, meaning say every year, I will see a generation capacity of 400 megawatts at the account. We don't do that.
But year on, year about it.
We don't do
That's the challenge.
And it's excess capacity now near one.
Babishim.
What we generate and year use. It only man say Akosombo back on stream and the Etienne say power you want in year use. It is a plants never to say Kim. Will be back to load shedding. And that is what I think the Honorable Minister would have to focus on now going forward. Say, we need to bring in some emergency power now. Because even when Akosombo comes back on stream, not see any issue with any of our plants, we have an issue. And I think the minister should look at that. And I am happy, from my conversations and all of that, plans are underway to get some, IPPs to come in immediately. Now at least a reserve margin and so and yes, man, in the next 6 months, 1 year, we may be. But as we speak, when him say because of challenge now, but the power in the Cote d'Ivoire, any Burkina Faso, I suspended for some time because we cannot continue. Say actually, That is the situation now. And I think, and unim, because and so say MPP buy na excess power, or say they no more canon. They were not very aggressive. Men can say Oman for generation capacity be count, but Oman are very aggressive, you know. And that aggression now armor for them to add more generation, no, and also count Ami Ababidu. But I think this administration, should know where we are. We have no reserve margin now, and we need to fast track in getting some emergency power in. Now into me, M1. That's the situation. By the end of this week, so which me yes our bypass from Akosombo to Temana, then we will get all the 1,000 megawatts from Akosombo on. Now man Nyoma is stable, and also interest after Sergio. And I think the minister should also be clear on that to the Ghanaian people. Say, Oman, even when Akosombo back on stream, because they are still injecting some transformers, still a man from Kenya ebedum. Because there are faults in the system, still a man from Kenya ebetimi edum. Ekokoba said and say ba ye say Ghana gas omo planned maintenance work. Na e was so omo call off na gas no emma. There will be a problem. A man for Kenya ebedum. I think we should holistically explain things to the Ghanaian people. Now Obia Koma and Tony, but I think going forward, the issue of our reserve margin, no, we have to look at it and look at it very, very, very well.
Well,
I just said the assembly.
Well, be well spoken. I feel that I'm Wednesday after Minister Daka say, you know, I'm Wednesday. Yeah. Per se, yeah, this in-depth analysis. I don't want the minister to be around technocrats to be speaking to us. I want the Ghanaian community to understand that these games that we've played ourselves when it comes to the energy sector, it's very unfortunate. We have to now sit as a country and have a frank conversation. Maybe if we want to go by what has happened in the past, they are achieving what we want to achieve going forward. No, a very difficult. The truth as we speak now, they say the second, we should have a timetable to that effect. Two, say problems here. Ashanti region is a peculiar situation which is going to have another serious matter altogether. Even with our Kosovo generating 1,000 any excess, it will have a problem at hand. That problem cannot be solved politically. That problem cannot be solved just by taking people off their post. That problem is a holistic problem. You need partisan readings, no, in film, and patriotic towards that approach. You know,
amount for Kasena, Obi wa ECG or sabotage system, and Obi wa man, that thing it's complete crap. I mean, I've read in ECG before. Say yes, they have their difficult or more challenges, but man, the best electrical engineers in our country, ECG. All the best electrical engineers from the best schools in Ghana, ECG. They have some of the best brains. Inti this thing where when government's back is against the war, now you be the blame a man on obi shebabi no sabotage no obi she. Let's stop those things. Let's stop those. And some are making. So we need reserve margin. FOB or sabotage. But reserve margin ni ho. That's a plant back on eco offer. You will have to set load. And FOB or sabotage. You know, until we need to be to go above sir and come away we tell it's not cool.
The questions were being asked that how are we building our generation, adding on to what we already have? And the issues they raised during 2017 was the fact that we had excesses that was sitting down doing nothing. And yet 2 years come here, but can't be. And ye seek some IBC. As we speak, according to Obi, we do not have that luxury of even having a reserve. Talk of having excesses that's sitting somewhere and we are not paying for. They didn't bring any power batch. There was nothing like finding ways in generating more or generating, because that excess we had. Now, there were issues with finances. You see what the problem is, and it's Senyanko Soma a year ensure any degenerate here. The rest in and that is a major problem, because you need a lot of dollars to go and buy that fango to be able to put that power plant on. and give us that generation we need? Are we also paying the needed amount of money as electricity bills to meet that demand? To be able to allow ECG to do these kind of works to enable almost me abwa na sa repairs no almost yen 3,000 this moment. Come me I because anytime they go to a PRC asking for increment in electricity, we try to beat it down. Politically, we try to do that because yenim say yentua ye kai yenti we increase ye be hadwene yes kentua, and it would affect the political your friend is saying government not at that time until we keep suppressing them. The problem with also ECG nanka se munu ECG ne munu say they are also somewhere somehow ineffective. Penyimfo akwa ECG no kwen bi so, because I listened to the big some years back or some time back how people work as a ECG airbo ECG chrono through omo a tongue a year and inam kania and I quarter light a wo mo metre omo a ya mo contract say a year a supermarket be no we be no de no akosha ho no okoto and I say a year filling station be and I quarter light no ho no ne ade no. Some of them were not directly even it's kind of it didn't even go directly to ECG for coffee. People were ECG no more bypass ni bi to say they are Greco say akoso mo person mo bypass na to me use temadi control station temadi. Some were stealing. In fact, I remember say NDC took over no. Even the former chairman Afenyoma Kene minority leader came out to say look, he saw certain things that were being done because minister also said that look, they don't even clear it. No matter how I got demorage. No more couple be manaqua clear. No matter fetch no. One year ready so I turn obey and I buy I don't even know how that system works. It doesn't make sense because ECG is for government. Nanyama beguo. Na go na akodi morage na ya sa pa obi manakwa akoto ni afa etira akoto nipa dasani ho kronunti. And we still live in this problems. People within a year ECG sabotaging, thieving. And we are here today. Mimi fear and say the thermal plant eba. Term at the moment the way you cry and to be a tough and weguma. Sika the better. Abayi took over. John Jinapo came to tell us say ka we kiete fashion. It was all about money. How to even buy fuel that we had just 1 week. 1 week reserve, 1 week at that time. At that time. So what is happening? What is happening that it has become like a canker? What is going on? Akwaya canker be a kamea say etia konso yentumi nya hwere. Ekwa anaba. Etekwa anaba. Etekwa anaba. Aha. Snow. Eto. Weather changes. In fact, this spring you could na as a summer. The same day na say changing now what do just say you are freezing. And it's even affecting me. And I had to close early because the change affected me so badly. My system didn't quite. Yet they have solar, and I showed you one in Virginia. They have solar panels. I had trained in Amkania at the power. I code number also machine and if you ma heat kakrama where freezing. Obey cost. What you use is what you pay. They don't have that luxury of having a 365 days in a year. We do have it. I've seen wind generation, wind from why does it look like we still live in 1540? When people are advancing, going into just or more cost space, doing things, applauding them cost space. Now the to do so more. I can once every time doom so, every time doom so. What is the problem?
Sagana Fobekaya, 2nd January 2025. And our branch here now, or Kumase, or MPP spokes communicators in the back, or would be at the friend. Poyando, I say NDC abe dear, DUMSOR ebeba. I say NDC abe dear, DUMSOR ebeba. Justin Kodria, or MPP General Secretary say a kind, more kind of time me. Justin Kodria say a kind, say NDC ba power, DUMSOR beba. Mafia, Mahama winning election when you catch and say Kewo. There was strategic institutions to be okroma. Me ya Ghana mampedi. And now what to abamami? ECG top hierarchy na mepa mobia. Member of fine package. Kofi. Fabi koye treasury bill. Fabi top bond. Me nyu edisa na unkon kobre. Uye Ghana ni. Je u deserve ni kakra ni jeko. Mu na obia ba jeko. Wojia na uko. Memma usika boom. Memma wako. Me. Sabit wasa ada VRA. No ma be president na VR boss ana mbeto no woda to ha mama usika jeko na commande wo meja kwan fefefe Greco penny afena jo mama be pam Greco. We sat here with JB and told you that there are certain state institutions at John pam nkrofo e wo ho wentie NDC fo e wo kroma start can say hey nkrofo wo mo party ni mu no they qualify if not more. What qualify for chen wet hono enti hwena ye ho bibi unkwa na ye father for all Professor Messi crowd back wa wu and ya appointed ministers mafia wo krom ha me catch say Monday morning show no start ne and the ministers no ho na ma sorry aba my coordinating director is doing well, my director is doing so very well because coordinating director and director ma will be quite man 50,000 Ghana since officer we are seeing now. What boy in that 1 year? We got we are semester after 1 year. My director is doing well. My director is doing well. With Brefo say yeah. Well, so what is a minister catch us say ne coordinator or beton and dada and director beton and dada or buane pa esika. Mafia, there's one ministry be have me modi. One ni pada there wo hodi jiji sika ma minister na kwaba. What's it ho? Edwayefo na wo hoda no minister. See, politics wrong. If you are not realist, you can't survive. They do so baba. And the ministries. Mu edwayefo etimi jiji sika e koma minister kwaba. Na wo ye minister di sika na mo kwaba. Say I no me muntaka and on pia na no me chinchinga ne pampers mokai chinchinga pampers NDC4 me party 4 mama madwin adwuma mafia me ti say DUMSOR beba pepepe ye swear mahama in once me Jimmy fans pa me drew Independence Square eti time me coach here president no when you ask what catch this fans is yours, so it's not mine. You see the way the crowd. I thought there was another president from somewhere coming. I didn't know it was you. So, any pebia was a sisu or the tendency of becoming selfish. And I'm going to DUMSOR beba. Many JB ni yetina had a catch NDC for say ECG, Ghana Water, Gridco, VRA. Abine man and in call. Mahama went tie and one because tie and Fidia na and the MPP this or caniano. Say the same Fidia Abaton. I don't know what the agenda home. Then Kwan Essi, then Abba, then Essi, won't quite time. Padis ya catch us, Yabama DUMSOR. No, I'm a CEO that all. Eh? Jaku for ya, dear B. Na me kawo esa ma kakura pain. Ewa ha. Say, Opam Kofi Potofi. Or Pam Kofi Potofi. But Quena, Jaku for Pam Kofi no. One Pam no. Or Manicrata se ko leave. Kofi, Missy Jaku for one Manicrata se me you a deal. Or say, what be the not boss and fear one trick, uncle leave with that. eti Kofi na kwa home di will leave ni nyina na why na di wo ye adwa mfie nwotwe a will leave so ye mfie nwotwe ba ye ma Kofi potofi krata woni bisa koko so hene na deliver mada and of first there's an operation koko so hene ya friend KD because of the kwakudua Kofi potofi nko leave woni dey tia Kofi ma Kofi potofi ko leave but when you not modest director be edi woni say we are say we wo twa ne tia de aka ni nyina ahoma to Kofi who say no say or transfer so Kofi told Jacob Echebilamte say look don't transfer anybody, don't ask the new ECG boss to transfer anybody, allow them to work, but what we need to do is to just change the head. I will not move. As soon as the head is changed, people will voluntarily leave their offices. When I was Afena Matias said Kufuor was adopting realist approach but had a liberalist face. And a Kofi Potofi Kwatrafi. Kofi Potofi Kwatrafi pa ana Sly Akakpovi Kasa Akakpovi Sly Akakpovi na oye Ashanti region NDC secretary Ekatra NDC foa wamoye nadmo district director regional directors ni na say omfred banto obi ankofie Kufuor anya Kufuor na pamo anya Kufuor na pamo afa na oba pam Grico wa bra Grico menkan say papa na aye boni o ba say you no our course ham na wie mame Korea video no bo MPP general secretary bo
yes but what anya wanwa say ye kan nya ntimi gina so mama na na enim no 2012 to 2016 no once say o dada na Umbekaya 2012 equal 2016. La Ghana for nya kania. Ye kania ntimi nyina so. Ebra na Europe akofo press wetima hihye na mama kania nyina so. NDC for by omotwe ko akire. O man peni mama ebre mu ye den Ghana for busa ne se openi ye dasum ye dwuma sei. Ye coast or egu e ma mo pamade omotimi pamade. Omo spray ka ntimi nya ho adu. Hey, I'll comment. When you
have an opposition,
yes.
Then the general secretary of the opposition, the Ekasa say, then on him. Nana do buy one for quarter any. Ameka, your power generation, who back can and doom. More dream home. Hey, Bethia, this is a pure sabotage. What did my dear see here? Our 1999. Rollins commission T1 every year, no. Debbie, something happened. Our 18th January 2000. 18 January 2000, BBC here. Rollins, your friends and Nana to Dazi and Nana to Ata. And I'm confused which of the artists and the Dazis, whichever, there's a Nanato. Hello, Nanato. I don't understand why anytime there's a major event in the Western region, the light will go off. This is what I want to do. I want you to call Kwame immediately and get back to me. Mubisa Kwame na hoy, so we. I am dancing. I want you to call Kwame immediately and get back to me. Within 3 minutes, not T1 manager say, oh, na ya pamobia. Ya pam one can ya buy. Ya bronobi will talk about your floor, Anaji, Sasa de Cano, Anaji. Now, Anaji for the Sumusa, or Montias. Sana mo Bobo, I know Sadabaya, Papa Usu Ankumane, MPP for Bobo, I know Sadabaya met me at 2 NDC MP on 2000. But Omotana Siam and Syria, so NDC lost the Takrady seat, in 2000. But Rollins, Emma, I told that on the chief of staff and moi, or Fred Kwame na you know. Instructions are Kwame na hoy at the 2 table no so. One would go within 3 minutes, one more pam and penny for that T1 nano, a penny perform from Bessiwa within 5 minutes, Mafia Kani and Abawa Naji. Na Naji Kani and Naso. Oh, and Tim Pamacho, and this in penny for Timunsro. Sa Wakofa Mary Abagana. Nana po atamdia free hako kumasi $38 million. Kani na ndumu kumasi. Wa ukofa de ne ba ye no. Wona wa wo ba fe wo suma ba ba ne se menko. Eni si fo mo wo. Amari na de si kumasi. Na so. Anamwa. Amari wana de ba ye. Enye mahama. Na me am dey ade by na fe dey me by ade na me so enso. Na wo obi ti Kumasi. So your regional director, I have a wish I were the president. By now you are out of the space. What do you say, Bra headquarters? Bra headquarters. Hey, why you say? Wo ba chew? Wo di ni pechia o be say wo dachi. It's a me catch us me so obi am pemasem. Enti me we share me na so do me am fa ho. Obi am pemasem. And if you are not careful as a leader, if you don't apply the realist approach, people will do you in. And John, Your Excellency, me show kutupa. Sabi we penny chairman, me show watch the money. But the reality of the matter is that people have just raised antennas of sabotage against you. You think this is a joke? Professor Mason Kwame be president. Jay perform the be here no. Oba you say T1 she mafia. 2001 October. Mumusa T1. Ejafo Kufoya ya no say nipa ho in obi anko. No obi anko. Ade na ashina that time. No so we have $4 million and so metimi ya no. Wo for engineers if crying. There was one man be a friend something smart. No ECG. Oba commercial manager kura. Wo hwa ade no papa no a very fantastic man. Me am catch now. John, look for that man. John, look for that man. That guy is a smart chap. They fix the problem. Ghana be interest kabia. Professor Messi president at a free Professor Messi no. And a totobi kwachi. I said no. And a totobi kwachi na kasa penkro for call all the regions. Okay. Moshe shebu na mon hade. Omre info. Omde info ni ba no. Na che se nkrofo bi hyase na omo ye. E kanya ma Ghana ye ni Lesotho. Ebo match ewo Kumasi ye dumkanea emakwaku ayindo ho e ka se head to row o ka se head to row pa na kanea ne ba back on sabra ne kanea na fidie na say no hwa na sesan John money now any say aba power bi ma Greek asanshi hey massa Greeko asanshi NDC shine your eyes. What now, I did not share your cannon doom. I'm a money go save you. I've had a cup of Greekoni. A carbon. Huh?
The king. Enti, send me a minister. My responsibility can see a pan say. Sadiana man for try some bay. Make tackle, make diffusing. Make my president integrity, no. And may attached or associated with DUMSOR. The see in 2015 Kwame go for high buy. President Omanhene greeting. Right? Yeah. But for the fact that at the end of the year so intensive, I will not buy. Ebekan. E hunsun so anso ni bi. And ye did 2 abatia in 2016. And to be a minister, now with the energy sector, you must guide against it. What him say last year? I started say Baba Kakra. And I mean, the Omoye no handle. Yeah. And I'm Kanye ni Jina Swana for Ghana for you, okay. The Ghana in plan is a Kwame, the Kanye Jina.
But cannot cram so.
Exactly.
Cannot cram my own dear.
And if the minister cannot do anything to protect President Muhammad's name against DUMSOR, you must go. Energy sector, ministry no down.